Hey folks, for those of you that are going to join for the Soon Fei-Yang Brexit chat in about a half hour, thank you. And for those that don't, F you. Also, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I've watched or slash listened to a couple commentaries today from, well, actually 3 commentaries from the Duran, they're kind of an interesting channel, kind of weird people, but the Duran, good YouTube channel, Just My Stupid Opinion, and Stefan Molyneux on the Trudeau crisis. And the more that I hear about the SNC-Lavalin thing that's going on, this scandal, the more I'm convinced that Trudeau is sort of like this Obama-Bush hybrid, but with kind of a Canadian packaging to it. So think about it this way. Personality-wise, he's a very effusive, emotional, I would say like politically progressive person, somewhat like Obama. Now, Obama wasn't exactly like the friendliest person in face-to-face interactions, according to what I've heard. But Trudeau, certainly in terms of his political image and personal style, he's very similar to Obama. And then in terms of his personal history, he's almost the same as President Bush. Okay, President Bush had a father who was the president. Trudeau had a dad who was the prime minister. And in fact, they're both tied to, very establishment leadership positions. Just they happen to be, the politics is cosmetically different. But in essence, they're the same type of people. And what the scandal is really, from what I've heard, is a groundbreaking problem in Canada. Not to say that there is no corruption in Canada, and Just My Stupid Opinion does a pretty good job of documenting it, although I don't have any reference point to judge because I've never lived there. But from what I'm hearing, this is like prima facie obstruction of justice. So you have this firm that was trying to avoid prosecution, and they were putting pressure on Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister Trudeau, to get these charges, I guess, settled out of court. And he went to, and I guess there were supposed to be criminal charges involved in this probe of an engineering firm called SNC-Lavalin, located in Montreal. And these criminal charges apparently were tied to some illegal activities that they undertook in order to help the son of the former Libyan dictator, the late Libyan dictator, Muammar Gaddafi. And that would be the son, Saadi Gaddafi. Now, I guess that's the bare bones of the scandal. There's probably some more details that are involved. But essentially what happened was they went to Trudeau, and Trudeau went to his attorney general. I think her name is, let me check here, Catherine Raybould. Let me see here. Well, Jody Wilson-Raybould. Okay. Jody Wilson-Raybould. Okay, so she is, she's from one of the Canadian First Nations, the Musqueamago Tsawwanet. I can't pronounce that. So she's from the British Columbian province of Canada. And, I'm sorry I can't pronounce it. It really is a difficult word. I'm not trying to be facetious here. And she did have the integrity, though, to say, look, I was put into this position as Attorney General of Canada to prosecute every defendant according to the law. Now, things can be worked out, but if you're making this into a political priority case, then no, you can't work it out. It doesn't make any sense. So, essentially what happened was that Trudeau kept on nudging her and saying, well, this is kind of getting to be a very difficult situation for us, and hinting that he wants something to be done to get this pot off the stove. And essentially what ended up happening was that because she recognized that this was a settlement that would be really for political purposes, she said to Trudeau, look, you're effectively going and, and using your political considerations to urge me to dismiss a case or to withdraw an indictment, whatever it was. And that's not really in keeping with my position. And so eventually he removed her. And why was it that Trudeau wanted to get this case dismissed or taken off of the agenda? Well, Quebec is a very pivotal province in Canada. You need Quebec in some cases in order to form a government. They have a sizable proportion of the National Assembly. I mean, let me check here. You just have this. Let me see here. I'll get the proportions here. So let me see. So Quebec has 75 seats in the Canadian Parliament out of 282. They're only behind Ontario, and by the way, they dwarf several of these other Canadian provinces: Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. And then so Quebec is pivotal because there's a few seats that are key, and the Liberal Party, which is Trudeau's party, doesn't necessarily do well in the prairie provinces of Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. So it's going to be key for them to win some of these seats. And the fact is that he went to Wilson Raybould, and told her, well, you kind of have to do us a solid by helping us to get rid of this case, because SNC-Lavalin, if they were to be forced to move from Montreal, that would be an embarrassing economic loss for the region. And in fact, that is purely a political interference in the justice system, and that is by definition, probably in almost any country in the world, obstruction of justice. Now, in Canada, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer here. I'm not going to pretend to know whether he will be charged, but in terms of the appearance of impropriety, it's looking bad for Justin Trudeau. And I think that we're going to see really kind of this party, the Liberal Party, is going to be struggling to find a way to paper this over, or perhaps force him to yield before the election if it becomes too unsightly. And think about it this way: he's one of the only people who has any personality in Canadian politics that actually evokes any trust. There's, of course, on the right, pretty far to the right, but not exactly extreme right. There's Bernier, also from Quebec. This could help Bernier, get some more votes or something. Then in the closer to the center, you have the Conservatives, who have this Andrew Scheer guy who's not exactly very inspiring, and then you have Trudeau, who, yes, he's very popular. He's been popular with a lot of the youth, and then on the left you have Jagmeet Singh and the Green Party beyond him. So Jagmeet Singh represents the New Democratic Party. In any case, it's not looking good for Trudeau at the moment among people who are conscious voters. But yeah, he could still pull it through. And what's the nightmare for some Canadians is that he would be able to not maintain a majority, but he would have a minority government, and Canada would be weakened on the international stage even further. So, and this is because there is a schism on the right between the Conservatives and the People's Party of Maxime Bernier. So that's about it. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, tune in at 11 Eastern Time, 10 Central, where Sun Fei Yang is. We'll be talking about Brexit, and I'll talk to you guys later.